Hey student, watch this video and learn how to ask questions in English in the simple present. Coming up. Oh, you didn't know. I am in the wrong part of the page, so let me start this again. Watch this video and learn how to ask questions in the simple present. Coming up. Hey friends, Teacher Prix here with you with another lesson to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. As you know, I'm making this video live, and what I love the most about live videos is that I'm always making mistakes. So sometimes it's the camera, sometimes it's the microphone, and today it was the this thing you just saw. Okay, my friends, thank you so much for joining. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope this lesson can be helpful to you. And if it's your first time here, consider subscribing. Yeah, it worked. Because I post many different kinds of English lessons, and I believe my lessons can help you. My lessons have been helping many people from many different places, and I'm sure you're gonna enjoy the vibe of the channel. All right, today I have a lot to talk about, so let's get started. Grammar in use, how to ask questions in the simple present. I will make other videos and show you simple past and future and present perfect, but today just simple present. So if you have questions about questions in other tenses, take it easy because we are gonna have videos to talk about that, okay? Moving on. First, I want to invite you to download my free ebook. In this ebook, I talk about 5 strategies to help you better understand and talk to native speakers. The ebook is free, and in the description, you can find the link where you can register and download the ebook. And on top of that, you will be getting weekly tips, extra exclusive tips that I do not share anywhere else, just there when you download my my ebook. Moving on. 2 types of questions. I will be a little bit repetitive, but this is something that I like to mention. That are primarily 2 types of questions in English. We have the yes or no questions. This is what we call closed questions because you don't have an option. Well, your only options are yes or no. Okay, now the W8 questions are open questions because in this scenario, I want extra information. I don't want to know yes or no. If I ask you, what's your name? You're not going to look at me and say, yeah. Well, is your name yeah? If it is, then I'm sorry. So that's why it is an open question, because here you do not start with yes or no. You start by giving me the information I asked you in the question, okay? Awesome. Now, closed questions with verb to be. Here I will divide the explanations into verb to be and the other verbs, okay? So I will talk about verb to be, other verbs, and can, okay? These are the only guys I'll be talking about. Well, I can't imagine there are others, but these are the most important ones. In the simple present, just a quick review, verb to be has 3 forms. Am, is, are. I am, you are, he, she, it is. We are, you are, they are. Okay, so each pronoun has a specific verb to be form. Remember, when I talk about subject, it's not just the pronoun. James is. The table is. The dog is. The children are. So it doesn't only, verb to be doesn't only go with the pronouns, but with subjects in general, words that represent subjects. In most cases, nouns. Here, with verb to be, I have the option. I can ask questions, yes or no questions, or W8 questions. Okay, so you can ask the 2 types of questions with verb to be. Hey, are you okay? Yes or no? Yes, I'm okay. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm okay. Why? I'm fine. What's your name? I'm Priscilla. But you know me as Teacher Prix. Now, we can also use, okay, moving on here. I will not talk about open questions. Now, when I am going to form yes or no questions with verb to be, it is actually very simple. So all I'm gonna need to do is invert, change the position between to be, the conjugation of to be, the form of to be, am, is, or are, and the subject, the pronoun or the noun that represents the subject in that phrase. That's the only thing I change in a yes and no question with verb to be. If we go back to the example, are you okay? This is a question, a yes or no question. If I am going to affirm that I'm okay, then I will just say, I am okay, all right? Or in this case, you are okay. So here are some examples. I'm sure this is an affirmative sentence. If I want to turn this into a question, change the position between the verb to be, and the pronoun or the subject. Am I sure? John, so John is the subject. John is tired. If I want to ask a question, hey, is John tired? The elections are next week. Are the elections next week? So all I do is change the position between to be and the person, the pronoun, the subject of the sentence. In this last example here, the elections, that's the subject of my question, and it's in the plural, so are. Okay, moving on. You will usually ask questions with verb to be. Okay, Priscilla, can I use questions with verb to be all the time? Is it okay to just use questions with to be? No, you don't need to use verb to be all the time. Unless you want to ask about, usually the most popular cases are when you want to know the identity or description of a person, of a place, or of something. So let's suppose I am walking with you down the street and I see a restaurant across the street. Then I look at you, I point at the restaurant and I say, hey, is that restaurant good? Is that a good restaurant? Oh, yes, it is. Yeah, that's a good restaurant. Now here, I can repeat all the question. Yes, that's a good restaurant. Is that a good restaurant? Yes, that's a good restaurant. Or I can give a short answer. Yes, it is. Now, in most conversations in English, oral conversations, real life conversations, you give short answers. You don't give long answers. Is she your friend? Yes, she is my friend. No, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Yeah, she is. You usually give short answers. And in this case, I would even make it shorter. I would say, yeah, for sure. Yeah, yep, she's my friend. So I don't need to give long answers, only if you want to, depending on the situation. Short answers are more common, especially yes or no questions, okay? So as I said, is that a good restaurant? I'm asking your opinion. Is it good? Is it a good restaurant? Is she your friend? Is Susan your friend? Yeah. We work together. So you see, I gave a short answer. Is Susan your friend? Yeah, we work together. So I told you yes, I answered your question, and then I decided to give you more information. This happens in conversation. This is actually what happens in conversation. I answer your yes or no question, and then I tell you what I tell you something more. I give you something extra, okay? Awesome. Moving on. I can also ask open questions with to be. Okay, and what does that mean? If you remember at the beginning of the explanation, I told you that I can ask W8 question words. I can ask questions where I how do I say? Yes, I can ask questions where I want more information. And this type of question is made with W8 question words. What, where, when, why, how, who, whose, okay, which, what, where. So these are the questions, the question words we usually use. Here on my channel, I have many videos where I talk about W8 question words. I have several different kinds of videos where I give explanations about who, whose, what, which, where, when, why. So check them out, they are important. And I have more videos here talking about questions in English, okay? So as I said, I can use this, this W8 with verb to be. But it's when I use W8 question words with verb to be, the questions I have are more limited, okay? And you will understand why. So I use the W8, and then immediately after will come verb to be. Where is, where are, it depends. For example, I wake up, this never happened to me, thank God. I wake up and I am somewhere I don't know. I am in a place I have no idea where it is. So I can look around and say, where am I? Where am I? So where am I? I don't know where I am, so I can ask myself. Where is your office? Okay. What is your favorite kind of food? Where is Priscilla from? Why is he angry? So you use the W8 question word, and immediately after you will need verb to be. Okay, so where is your English teacher from? Okay, what is your favorite kind of sport? Where is your cousin from? Okay, why is he angry? Very nice. Moving on. Open questions with verb to be. Here I have more examples, and in this case, the example I want to show you is that I can also ask questions with present continuous. Now, if you don't remember what present continuous is, I have 2 or 3 videos here on my channel where I explain, but basically a present continuous tense is when I give more emphasis on the progress of the activity. Usually simple present is more connected to everyday activities, to routine, to usual practices, but present continuous is more connected to the now, to the progress of my activity now, okay? Excellent. And hey, if you're enjoying the lesson, make sure to hit the like button, because that way I know you are enjoying the lesson. Yes, and if possible, share this lesson with your friends. Now, here I have some examples. Hey, where is she going? So maybe you see your mother leaving the house very quickly. Then you can look at your brother or your father and say, hey, where is she going? You know, because I'm indicating, I am indicating progress. Okay. Are you an excellent teacher? Yeah. I don't know. You tell me. What is he doing? Who are you? Excuse me. Why are you leaving? Who is she calling? Is it raining? Who is his favorite singer? How is Susie? So if you pay attention, here I'm showing present continuous, which is just a detail, okay? The focus of this lesson is only simple present. But I wanted to show you this because it is common to ask questions with continuous, but it's in very specific scenarios, okay? Fabiano, thanks for the kind super chat, okay? Thanks for your generous donation. So present continuous, I can ask questions. I can ask yes or no questions. Hey, are you paying attention? Are you listening to me? So I can do that as well, okay? All right, moving on. Now, closed questions, okay? This is a very specific kind of question because here I can use what, I can use where, I can use when. Oh, excuse me, I confused with open, it's closed. I moved on to do and does. Excuse me. All right, I talked about to be, now I will talk about do and does, okay? Do and does will be used with basically every other verb, with the exception of verb to be and modal verbs. I don't use do and does with modal verbs and with verb to be. Okay, so these are the exceptions. So want, go, drink, study, buy, listen, complain. I don't remember any other verbs. Stop, write, listen, hear, hurt, do and does in the simple present, of course. So any other verb. So here you have many options of questions you can ask. So if you think of a different verb, drive, do or does. Listen, do or does. Okay? Unless we are talking about present continuous. It's a different kind of question. Okay? It's a different tense. Okay? Now, yes or no questions with do and does. Here, I will give you a sequence. And hey, one important thing, you never use do and does with verb to be. You cannot use verb to be and do and does to ask a question. Doesn't work, okay? So my sequence to help you ask a question, in English with do and does is this sequence. A, P, V, C. Priscilla, what is this APVC? I'll show you. Remember, this is a yes or no question, okay? I have the auxiliary, do or does. My P is my subject, the person, John, Mary, Frank, or the car, the subject, the student, okay? The table. Then I have my verb, the action. And finally, the complement. The complement is any word or combination of word that will help you complete the question. It could be verbs, it could be adjectives, it could be nouns. You can do whatever you want in the complement, okay? Now, putting this into real words. My auxiliary, I want to use do. Then I have my P, my subject, my person. I will use you. Then my verb, any verb you want. Not to be, not modal. Work. C, in the financial market. That's my complement. Because if I say, do you work? Okay, it's possible. Do you work? All right, that's good. But if I want to ask a more specific question, for example, I can ask you, hey, do you work in the financial market? Oh, not really. Why? So you see, it depends on what you want to ask. So the complement area is an area where you can use your imagination, my friend. You can do whatever you want. But this is the sequence. This is how you ask a yes or no question. Now let's look at another example with does. I showed you with do. Now let me show you with does. Does Teacher Prix post videos every week? You cannot use must, Fabiano. Must is a modal verb. You do not use do and does with modal verbs. With verb to be and modal verbs, you do not use do or does, okay? So here, does Teacher Prix post videos every week? So does. Why am I using does and not do? Here, I'm using she, Teacher Prix. Post videos every day. So this is the sequence I will use. I have the A, the auxiliary, do or does. I have the person, the subject of the question, Teacher Prix. I have my main verb, post, and then the complement. Does she post? Post what? Post pictures, post videos. Does she post videos every day? No, I don't. No, she doesn't. She posts videos from Monday to Friday, okay? Now, another example. Thus, the world. So here I'm not using a pronoun, I'm using a noun that represents the subject. Does the world need to change? And here in my complement, I'm using another verb, and it's possible to do that. I can use verbs in the complement. Do you need to study? Do you need to travel? Do you want to travel? Do you have to work on Sundays? So verbs can be complements. It is possible. It depends on how much vocabulary you have and how complex your question is, okay? Now, open question sequence. This is the moment when we ask W8 question words. What, where, when, okay? Now, remember, if you want to ask a question with verb to be, no do, no does, okay? My sequence, my APVC sequence continues. It's the same. I will just include at the beginning the W8 word I need. So what, when, where, how, whose, what kind of. There are variations, okay? So here's an example. If you pay attention, A, B, V, C, it continues. So the sequence, auxiliary, subject, pronoun, person, verb, complement will not change. It'll be the same. I will just include the W8 question in the beginning. So what does Andrew like to do in his free time? What, my W8, does, my auxiliary, Andrew, the person, the subject, like is the verb, the action, to do in his free time is the complement. So to do is a verb, but it's working as a complement, not as the main verb, okay? Another example, where do you go on weekends? Okay, where do you go on weekends? Teacher, do you exercise? Yes, I do. I work out. You could say, do you work out? It's better than do you exercise. Physical exercise, let's get physical. You can say, do you work out? Okay, so yes, I work out. Not every day though. Great. Do or does? What's the difference? Do will be used to ask questions with the pronouns I, you, we, and they, or any subject in the plural form represented by a noun. So kids. Kids is a word that is in the plural. Okay, so kids. Here, I can use do. I have to use do. Do your kids like to eat vegetables? Huh? Do you have kids? Do they like to eat vegetables? Let me know. Does will be used to ask questions with the pronouns he, she, it, or any third person in the singular form represented by a noun. Why am I saying that? We don't ask questions only with the pronouns he, she, it. We say names. We use names. We use nouns. Does the doctor know your name? So, does the doctor know your name? Okay, so this is important because many people think, oh, does? Okay, only he, she, it. Okay, but there are words that represent he, she, it. So be careful about that, okay? And here, finally, questions with can. Can is a modal verb, and we use can in the present, we use can in the past. When I make the video in the past with questions in the past, I will talk about it, but here in the present, and I'm not going to focus on the different uses of can. So you, if you want, I have modal verb videos here on my channel where you can watch that, okay? So can works very similarly, works in a very similar way when it comes to questions, when it comes to verb to be questions. They work the same way, okay? So can is the modal verb, and like the verb to be, it is very independent, so there's no do, there's no does, okay? So I will use can to ask the question, and I will invert the position, just like verb to be. So I can speak 3 languages. Can I speak 3 languages? Do you know? Can I speak 3 languages? Yes or no? Can you speak 3 languages? Can you work out every day? Okay, is it possible for you? Do you have this ability to, work out every day? Can you speak 4 languages? Can you ask James to come into my office? So this is a longer question. Hey, is it possible? Hey, can you do me a favor? Can you ask James to come into my office for a minute? Thank you. So this is a very common question, and here I'm showing you can. Can may have other ideas like permission, polite requests, but again is in the present. So it's important to understand that, to understand how to structure the question. Okay? Excellent, my friends. A lot of information tonight. The only thing I can ask you is if you enjoyed the lesson, hit the like button, and if possible, share this lesson with your friends. When you share the lesson, you help the channel grow. Thank you so much, and if you have any questions, post them in the comments. Other than that, I will see you tomorrow for another English lesson. Thank you, and bye-bye.